Assalamualaikum and good morning, everyone. Okay, wherever you are, welcome. It's lovely to see everyone here. All right, so my name is Dr. Farhana, and I am a senior lecturer at Language Academy, FSS HUTM. So today I'm going to be sharing some of my personal experiences as well as some of the literature that I know on presenting research at either virtual and face-to-face conference. So some tips and tricks that I would like to show everyone here. For research, it is a place for you to actually present your research, for you to discuss about your research. Okay, present is one thing. All right, you're presenting your research. Discussing about your research is another thing. Okay, a lot of students, they think that I want to go for a conference, I just want to present, and that's it, close. No, you're supposed to have a form of discussion that's happening. If you want to have a really good conference session, there must be a form of discussion, and discussion normally comes in. If it's during the presentation time, it is the Q&A section, the discussion, or it comes after or before the conference, where if it is face-to-face conference, you have the opportunity to meet people at the conference, right? So you have the discussion maybe before, prior of your presentation, or maybe after your presentation. So there must be a form of discussion, right? And then exchange ideas. Okay, you're not only going to present your research, you're also going to be listening other people's research, right? So in that sense, you go for academic conferences to exchange ideas. When I was doing my master's, I have some of my lecturers, they like to attend conferences. They get new ideas, updated research topics from conferences. And then to marshal your ideas as well. And also one of the most important thing is to network. All right. There, people will go for conferences for networking purpose. Why? Is for you to present to people in the community, because you go for conference, you want people to know about your research. All right. And another thing, and you also want to know about other people's research. So this is a form of networking. There are many types of presentations. Okay, we have symposium forum, where there kind of like a forum session. You have people sitting, and then one by one people will be talking. All right. The second one is parallel session. Parallel session is one of the most famous one, especially for postgraduate students. All right. Not only for postgraduate, many academics, they go for parallel sessions where you will be presenting your research. All right, we're in front of an audience, and they will discuss during the Q&A session. All right, a workshop. Okay, my experience here in Malaysia, I have yet to encounter a workshop, but when I was overseas, especially in New Zealand, they like workshop kind of conference where they get together. The presenter does not only like, okay, this is my slide, this is my presentation, listen, and Q&A session. No, workshop is more interactive, where the presenter give you activities for you to do in a group, for example. All right, keynote. Okay, keynote normally done not by postgraduate students, but if you are invited for a keynote, you must be definitely one of the well-known person. All right. For example, like experienced lecturer, okay, who have been teaching and also doing research for 20, 30 years. Poster presentation is also another famous one, aside from parallel session. Poster presentation, choosing conferences, either online or face-to-face. Location, location, location. All right. Even though currently, all right, we are within the pandemic. So these are some of the reasons why people choose for conferences, especially students. Okay. Next. All right. There was question about slides. Okay. I will focus on PowerPoint, all right, but I will explain shortly. But look at this slide and look at this slide particularly. You can see this one. When it's too many things, it's too wordy, right? This is what we call it PowerPoint poisoning. PowerPoint poisoning, all right? And the reason why it is PowerPoint poisoning because it's too many words and it have many graphics, which is not clear at all, right? And it's all small. As mentioned here, if you look at this one, you just stated just the figure. And everybody will be asking, what is it all about? And it's true, the person's presentation, the explanation comes in, right? It's through the person's presentation, if information comes in. A lot of people, all right, they forget the fact that when you are doing a presentation, you are presenting. You are to be the person who talks a lot about the research, right? So that is something that a lot of people, they tend to forget. And they tend to forget, I know why, because many of them actually mentioned it's because they're scared. Let people just read from the slides, right? But the purpose of the presentation is for you to present. So the focus or the function of having slides here is as a tool to assist you when you are presenting. Okay. Can someone tell me what is PPK? PPK is PowerPoint Karaoke. PowerPoint Karaoke. Why? Why? PowerPoint Karaoke. This is what a lot of people do. They read from the slides. They have so many things they put, it's like copy paste from their paper. If it's possible, the whole thesis, they want to copy and paste. They are reading from the slides. A lot of students does this. A lot of students, they do this. Okay, they read from the slide. They read from the slide. For my presentation today, I will be reading the PowerPoint slides word for word. Right? Remember, when you are presenting, okay, in Malay words, just cakap. Cerita, this is the time where you had to, the opportunity to tell and to actually explain about your research. Don't read from the particular thesis or paper that you have already done, for example. All right, put keywords and the explanation comes from when you are talking. That's how it happens. Okay? All right. So this is just a structure, all right? But feel free to make some changes, all right? Academic research poster, strategies and principle for good design. Okay, you have a main topic on top, and then you have a small topic, for example, and then this is the author's name and the department, and then also the university and introduction. See, the introduction is just one small paragraph. Introduction, just one more small paragraph. Aim and objective, okay, concise, okay, and methodology, brief objective. And then here, if you can see, if possible, break down the methodology into simple steps so that people can easily understand what you are trying to say. All right. So these are some of the tips that you can actually use. Okay, result and findings. Okay, what are the key findings? You don't have to actually put every single thing in the particular poster presentation. What are the key findings? Focus on the key findings. This is definitely something that you need to discuss with your supervisor. All right, choose the key findings that you want. All right, you want to highlight, discuss it with your supervisor, and then see how does it goes. Okay, and then analysis and discussion. All right. Okay, what the question already been asked here. So what does your data mean? How does what you have presented fit in with the existing literature? So these are the questions asked in this poster. for something that you have to implement. So these are just some of the tips that I will be giving students. I really like it, but whatever it is, whatever that you want to put in your poster presentation, please discuss it with your supervisor first. All right, prepare it and then present it to your supervisor, discuss it, make amendments, okay, based on the feedback given by the supervisor, and then practice and then present it. All right, and I did exactly. Remember, as I mentioned before, the function of the particular slide is as an assistant, right? It's an assistant for you. It's a tool as an assistant for you to present. So, what is a good delivery? Effective presentation focus on particular aspects like content. Okay, the content. The content. What are the things that you want to focus on? The content, number one. The structure. How are you going to structure your slides? How are you going to structure your presentation? So that is particular aspect that you need to be mindful of too. Think about interaction with the audience. What are the things that you can do to make your presentation lively presentation, effective presentation? Think of it. Aids, okay. For example, PowerPoint slides, or if you use Canva, and myself, when I want to use, I want to make sure that my presentation is effective. Okay, self-presentation, you make sure that you're wearing a nice clothes, very sure it's presentable. Another thing is that I want to focus on is on extemporaneous speech. Okay, extemporaneous speech. It's like a really good speech when you are presenting. To prepare it carefully. I read a book about Steve Jobs a few years ago, and he did mention when he wanted to go for any kind of presentation, you look at how effective his presentation was. It was really, really good. But the effort that he took to actually present it, he actually took a very long time to prepare, and he actually practiced it many times. It's amazing. I thought that wow, for a person who is like such a big name like him, but when it comes to his presentation, he put a lot of effort actually to make sure that his presentation, his speech are extemporaneous. Make sure that his presentation is good. So that kind of effort, he practiced in front of people, when he presented, and then he think carefully what are the things that he wants to put on the screen, what are the things that he wants to see, the body language that he wants to use, the kind of clothing. He's a very simple person, okay, wearing just black, for example. So, the kind of words that the choice of words that he wants to use for his presentation, he carefully chooses it. Okay, so careful preparation is really important. They captive. The most important thing in terms of a presentation is number one, when you introduce your research, you manage to catch the people's attention from the very beginning. All right. Okay, so connective, review, signposting. So if you want to say, okay, in the literature review, I'm going to highlight 3 aspects in the literature review. Number 1, I'm going to highlight about this. Number 2, I'm going to highlight about this. Number 3, I'm going to talk about the gap. So you follow. Firstly, I want to highlight about this and this and this and this. Secondly, these are the things I want to highlight. Thirdly, about the gap. The gap in my research is about So signposting. Remember, audience-centered. It's all about your audience. It's not about you. You care. Eye contact. Smile at the audience. All right, interact with them. Right? All right, make them feel that they are important because they are important. Okay, engage the audience and effective conclusion. What are the things? What are the keywords you want to highlight in your research? And end it with it. So my research, again, before we end this session, I want to highlight that my research focus on this particular aspect, and the significance of my research is what? Focus. All right? Presented from brief notes. Very important as well. Don't be reading notes, okay? I'm going to present. You said I'm going to present, but actually you're just reading notes. Formulate possible questions. The most important thing when you are doing this, okay, one thing for sure is that you start asking yourself a question. What are the expected question will be asked? I do that also. Practice delivery, very important. And the most important aspect is that not only the question and what you answer, but also how you answer it. Okay. Approach questions positively. This is a very difficult part that a lot of students cannot grasp. Okay. They cannot grasp this particular part. Okay. Why? Number one, students tend to become very defensive when answering question. Okay, when a question from the audience said, okay, you said that in your slide and this and this and this. So why would you say so? Oh, because, don't be defensive. Okay, don't be defensive. I have also highlighted down there. Okay, approach a question very positively. Whenever there is a question given, what I like to do is that I smile. Okay, I smile. Yes, I have a question. I said, okay, yes, please give me your question. I smile looking at that person while the person is saying it. All right, positively. Listen carefully. Okay, if you don't understand the question the first time, you will say, admit it. Okay, excuse me, can you please repeat your question? All right, and then you just want to double check, for example, okay, whether the question is correct or not. What you can do is that you can actually paraphrase the question. Okay, you're receiving a question and you said, okay, so what you're asking is that, is this? Are you asking for this one? Just double check with them whether they can. Yes, this is what I'm asking. Okay, so then only you answer the questions. Be brave, be gracious, and engaging. So when you answer question, don't be draggy. All right, be concise. Okay, be brief. Okay. If a question comes in, can you please highlight the objective again? And you said, okay, I focus on three aspects. My objective for my research is on three aspects. Number one is about this. Number two is about this. Number three is about this. Be brief, be gracious, and be more engaging. Don't be defensive. I have an experience. I remember one time I listened to a student presentation. I already know the answer, but I purposely want to know whether the student know the answer or not, right? I purposely want to know whether the students know the answer or not. And then during the Q&A session, I asked the student, okay, can you please tell me, okay, you have already presented yours, can you please tell me, okay, what is such and such? Remember, you need to respect the audience. If you do not know, you are students. If you do not know, just say you do not know. Say, don't just say you do not know and say, I'm sorry, but I honestly not too sure the answer for your particular question. But thank you so much for pointing that out. That is something that I will definitely discuss with my supervisor. Thank you. I really appreciate your question. Nice, right? You don't have to be defensive, right? Read nicely, right? And stay on track. There are a lot of tendencies when a person asks you one question and you answer another. The question is about objective. For example, I'm just saying, okay, can you please highlight again the objective of your research? But the answer is about the significance of, and then your answer is about the significance of the research. You're not answering the question, right? So be careful, stay on track, be careful, listen to the question carefully. Easy. So I think, yes, that's all from me. Thank you so much, everyone.